T-minus 10 minutes. T-minus 9 minutes. T-minus 8 minutes. T-minus 7 minutes. T-minus 6 minutes. minus 5 minutes. Minus for minutes. Minus 3 minutes. Minus 2 minutes. Minus 1 minute. Stand by.
How about that?
And away we go. We're off on a football Friday, everybody. We're back in our normal home for a good time. Definitely not a long time. Golden Ticket Sports Center. On a football Friday, the gang is fired up. The Rod Squad is ready to go. Kevin the Medium joining us in mere moments. Rocking the CFL PA, the vintage stuff here today. A lot of football going on. Mike Davis going to join us in hour 2 from the Vegas Nighthawks Major Indoor Football League team when we go to air across Nevada. Kevin, I am positively, absolutely, definitely vibrating today. I'm ready for the weekend. You know why. How about you, sir? How you doing today?
I am great. Guess what I went and did this morning?
Well, I know what you do every morning. What else did you do this
No,
morning?
I went
Okay.
I went down to the market first thing in the morning to get
Don't.
your favorite pie.
Is that for me?
No, you were not going to be here. I would have brought it with me if I was coming to Vancouver, but I'm not, so I'm eating the whole pie.
You're that guy. You're that guy. Well, we're actually on the same place. Save that pie, or at least get another one when I come see you next week. Kevin's reading my diary. Point 1 of the quick 6. Listen, there's a lot of great CFL things going on, but let me read this. From our friends at the BC Lions, with tickets moving fast for the 4th annual Watermelon Smash, the BC Lions announced Thursday that Upper Bowl seating is open for the big battle with the Saskatchewan Roughriders Sunday, August 23rd. Kickoff 4 p.m. local. Tickets starting at only $19 for kids and $25 for adults. So listen, we had the big motorboating last night, Montreal over Ottawa. We got a big one tonight at Edmonton. We're here to talk about them all. Kev, all I can think about is BC Place. It's been a minute. Last time I was there, I was with you. Grey Cup, whatever it was, the 111th Grey Cup. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to sleep. How about you for Sunday's big game?
I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be up at the trailer, so I might have a few people at the campsite. I might have to pull out a few flags. As I told you, there's been a war started with flags at the campers, so I might have to adjust those flags, I'll say.
Well, we got fans from all across the CFL here, but Kev's team and historically my team are meeting on Sunday. The warm-up, specifically the Quick Six show topics, brought to you by our friends at Uniglobe Carefree Travel. Join CFL legends Adam Bighill, Willie Jefferson, Jake Ceresna, and Kevin the Medium on that cruise departing February 20th to the port of Fort Lauderdale. A once-in-a-lifetime experience for CFL fans. Prices from $18.99, cruise only. Contact Neil at Uniglobe Travel, Neil C. at uniglobecarefree.ca. You know that it's been a whirlwind for me. I wanted to stop and see you last night, but I'm driving home. My point is I haven't had a chance to read the game notes. Maybe at some point we'll go through them together because I posted them to our website, rodpedersen.com, as part of the picks for Pump Jacks. Did we get to your picks yesterday?
No, we just picked the one, didn't we? We just picked yesterday's game. I don't.
Okay, well, it's an easy one for
we didn't.
Scruffy and me. Picks for Pump Jacks. Pump Jacks invites you down to watch Sunday's Rider game, by the way, 5 p.m. kickoff. Pump Jacks Cathedral, Pump Jacks Weyburn. Come early, stay late at the place where friends meet. Picks for Pump Jacks. It's easy for us. Scruffy and I picked the same. We picked all the home teams. Kevin in the Medium is from the Hughes Sports Podcast. You too?
Yep, exactly. All the home teams right across the board. All the favorites. Should be hopefully an easy week to go 4-0.
Well, while we're sitting here in this opening segment, and we do have time, besides the Riders-Lions game, which we'll get to more of throughout the program, the Ottawa Redblacks suffered their 10th straight loss to open the CFL season. The Alouettes covered 46-16. We all expected that. In their first season under head coach and GM Ryan Dinwiddie, the Redblacks became just the 9th team in CFL history to start 0-10. So I feel like we talked about Ottawa enough yesterday, and I'm in a good mood. I don't want to ruin it by talking about this team, but I am interested by what's going on. Jeff Hunt saying he would be interested to come back. People are saying Jock Climby should get involved and run that team. Mike Moriali should get involved and run that team. Henry Burris is waiting, I'm sure, on a phone call. So everybody's got an idea, Kev, as to how this team could be saved, and that's I'm finding more interesting than anything is Ottawa. They're beyond bad.
Okay, Yesterday you asked me if this is the worst team I've ever seen in the CFL. I said yes, and last night kind of added to the pile-on of that worst team. They're just not good. They're just top to bottom. They're just not putting it together. So I'll be honest. I tried watching the game, and I ended up doom scrolling through most of the game on my phone because there was just nothing. There was no excitement in that game at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that sucks. I'll tell you what, from a league perspective, because I consider myself a league guy. The CFL doesn't want a pathetic team. I'll tell you, TSN doesn't want a pathetic team. They don't want people tuning out. But what I'm enjoying with all of this is the opinions. And most times the opinions drive me crazy. But with this, I'm just kind of sitting back watching what everybody's saying because there's a lot of people that feel they do have the talent. Strevler said that. Chris Strevler, I don't know if you're following him on social media, he said last night, these guys have talent. They have players. Why aren't they winning? It was Henry that came out and said it's not about the talent. It's about the culture. And that's the thing where that's the $1 million question, Kev. If you could bottle that, you'd be a millionaire. It's not so easy to fix.
Well, and I've said it right from when we first started talking about this team, and that's why I think they're the worst team that I've ever seen because they have the talent. They just don't seem to want to mesh it together. There's no what that it factor, the chemistry we talk about in a locker room where you can take a team with no superstars and really make it a great team when they get that magic happening. That this team, there's just no magic. And if it was, it's not the white magic we like.
Okay, Kev, just hang on. So we got a minute and a half before the break from the audience. Argo Bill checks in. He says, good morning, crew. BW from Edmonton says, it's Football Friday. Rich from Edmonton says, emceeing an event and then in Calgary, then making the drive back to Moose Jaw. Rod must be wiped. No, actually, not at all. I'm jumping on a plane this afternoon for Vancouver. So, yeah. Vintage Sasko says, if my vacuum sucked as much as the Red Blacks, my carpet would be minty clean. Rich in Edmonton says, Jeff Hunt is a great guy. His love of the CFL cannot be questioned. Absolutely. Hey, Jeff and I have spent a lot of time together. I love that guy. But he walked away from the CFL for his own reasons that we kind of talked about here the other day. And if you missed it, I'm not going to repeat it. That's his story to tell because it sounds like he may come back. Vancouver Eric says, liquid sunshine this Sunday, RP. Bring your rain gear. I hope not. Oh, my God. I didn't even thought about rain. John,
it's Vancouver. It's Vancouver. Yeah. Of course it's going to rain.
They're going to close the roof? The roof? We'll be right back with a warm-up in the RP Show.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection, booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
It's the warm-up. It's the RP Show. It's a Football Friday. We are brought to you by our friends at Uniglobe Carefree Travel. Kevin the Medium is with us, and bear with me, Kev, and you bear with me, Kev, as I read some of the game notes here for tonight's game. We have fans of all the teams watching here right now, so it's not just about Riders lines, although for me and Kev it is. Winnipeg at Edmonton tonight. Zach Collaros is a career 15-8 against Edmonton. He's going to start for the Blue Bombers, obviously. Cody Fajardo, mine Cody. 5-9 career against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Actually, I'll stop there, and we'll get into the other games in a second. Your take on tonight. You said we've already all picked Edmonton to win tonight. Is there any chance that doesn't happen?
Oh, of course there is. This one's, I think, going to be a closer game than a lot of people think. I'm thinking within the three. I don't know about a walk-off field goal, but it's going to be it's going to be close. Both of these quarterbacks have something to prove. So they're going to come out with a chip again. And you've heard me say it. When you get these elite quarterbacks with a chip on their shoulder, they just do magic. And I think this game could be one of those games where we go, wow, that was what we thought might be a sleeper. And it's going to be an amazing game.
Well, I hope I get to Vancouver in time to watch some of it because I think it's going to be great. And what I'm loving, by the way, I was on the radio in Edmonton, Sports 1440 the other day. And they're like, Rod, what are you liking about the Elks? I said, I'm loving that the city's excited again. I love that Oilers podcasts are talking about the Eskimos, the Elks, because they haven't forever. They're cool again. And I don't know what it took, but thank God it did. Saturday, the Hamilton Tiger Cats at the Toronto Argonauts, the Battle of the QEW. We have so many Argo fans that watch this show, including Argo Bill, who's tuned in today. 902-518-3033 is the number to reach us here for Western Dodge. It's misleading, Kev. Ticats have won 6 of the team's past 7 matchups. How about that? Trey Ford is a career 2-1 against Toronto. Chad Kelly 4-3 against the Ticats all time. Toronto is 3-0 when rushing for 100+ yards. How about this? Sean Lemon. Guy should be sponsored by the AARP Association, American Association of Retired Persons. But he's not retired. Sean Lemon has had at least 1 sack in each of his 3 games and 4 total. This is a reason why teams keep bringing back Sean Lemon, huh? He's productive.
It amazes me. I remember watching just a couple weeks back, and I heard his name and I went, is that his kid playing? Like,
right. Can you imagine?
Like, come on. This guy's got to be up there. Like, he is like gone and come back and gone and come back more times than I can count. It's but he's still getting the job done. So good on him.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, one thing about the Winnipeg at Edmonton game, and that's why I want to talk about all the game. I got friends. Rob from Las Vegas is a Bomber fan. He's in Edmonton with his wife, and he's at the, what the hell is it? I'm not a golfer. The CKPC Women's Open, the LPGA event. They went up for the golf. They're going to the CFL game. What a wonderful weekend in Edmonton if that's your thing. He was texting me yesterday from the event. He's like, he's probably watching right now. Rob from Vegas, Bomber fan. He goes like, Brooks got to get some birdies. I'm like, nice try, but I don't care about the golf. But thank you. Nice try. Jeff, the Stamps fan, regarding the Elks, whatever. They're not, by the way, have you noticed this? They're not even saying Elks in Edmonton anymore. Have you noticed that? Like the media, it's the double E. It's the Edmonton. They don't say Elks. John in Edmonton he says the Edmonton Elks will win tonight. And he's in a fight here with a Stamps fan, Jeff the Stamps fan. Jeff says winning is the remedy in the CFL. It is, but not in Calgary. And I don't want to go down there. We spent enough time about that. And the Stampeders are on a bye week right now, so we don't need to talk about that. But winning is not the remedy in Calgary. Listen, I've talked to their coaches for years. You lived there for how long? 20 years, Kev?
20
They
plus.
can't figure it out. They're like, what more do we need to do? Cadillac franchise of the league, and the stadium's empty. I will say this. Have you heard any rumors about a new stadium there? Because we do have a lot of viewers in Calgary. Have you heard anything?
A year ago, there was a little bit of chat, and then it all went away. And haven't heard a thing. They were talking about doing something down by the Stampede grounds, and that was the last I heard. I tried to look again, but you want to fix everything in Calgary? Put a decent stadium together. Holy crap. I'm not a big
I don't
fan
believe
of
that.
stadium.
Sorry. I mean, you lived there, but so did I. I mean, bro, either you're a fan or you're not. Not everybody can have a new stadium. You see those old college stadiums that seat over 100,000? They'll be packed every Saturday for college football. Why not? Don't say that's not. That's just an excuse to not go. Because it's not a terrible stadium, Kev.
It was an excuse to cancel my season tickets. I didn't cancel my season tickets because I did like the CFL. I canceled my season tickets because I couldn't sit in that stadium another season. It was just uncomfortable. It's not a fun experience once you're inside. It's the best experience on the outside. Once you get inside, it's not the best experience.
Excuses. You're not even a Stampeders fan. You're not a Stampeder. If that stadium was in Vancouver, you'd go.
You know what? I probably wouldn't. I would probably do the same thing. I would probably have my season tickets, and then I'd be like, no, I can't do this anymore. That's just the kind of person I am. I like to be comfortable.
John, but that comes with our age. I'll put us in the same. I don't like to be cold. So, I mean, I get it, dude. I get it. John in Edmonton says if they can't get fans in the stands, why build a new stadium? It's becoming a bit of a chicken and the egg thing there, and I don't want to sit and talk about that forever, but thank you. I will say this is what you just saw who I was hanging out with for the last couple of days. I got a lot done in 2 days, and you were there for part of it. So the rumor, and I ain't attaching any names, but that they will be knocking down the Saddle Dome, which I also heard the rumor that they're leaving it up. So take it for what you will. But I heard the rumor that they're going to knock the Saddle Dome down and put a stadium there, and God knows Murray Edwards has the money. So basically, between GMC Stadium, the Calgary Stampede Stadium, and the new arena will be a football stadium. And to be honest with you, could you think of anything better than that?
No, I mean, it's a perfect location. I mean, it's right downtown. It would be like literally an entertainment hub. How perfect would that be? Yeah, bring it on.
That's the rumor. Now watch, some online anonymous Twitter account will pick that up, tweet it, and people will go nuts, and I'll be nailed. I'll be crucified. Pedersen said, whatever. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says Saddle Dome is coming down. That is fact. Okay, but things change, and I appreciate that. But I don't know. I'm just telling you that's what I heard. John from Edmonton says, cry me a river, Kevin the Medium. Get over this seat issue. I'm with you, John. He just didn't want to go. You'll go. Taylor Field was dude, were you ever there?
Yeah, I was.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle that thing didn't crumble during a game. It was decrepit. It was disgusting. We were pissing in troughs. There was rats,
And what happened?
vultures. We filled it. We filled it every game
But
when that team
you
was
got a
good.
new stadium.
Yeah, we were filling it when it was empty. So, yeah,
That's
don't get off the script. We filled it when it was empty because they care here. And in Calgary, I'm sorry, they don't care. Kirk from Toronto writes in. Right now, they don't. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Okay,
No.
do you have any thought on that before we? You can't. There's no argument to that.
Yeah, there isn't. I mean, Calgary fans are fickle. It's just a fact.
Yeah, and well, I was with hockey people, so they were discussing what a pathetic season the Flames had, yet the rink was full every game. So I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense.
No.
Kirk in Toronto writes in on the Western Dodge text line. He says, who can have more fun than us with an expected season-high crowd to witness the Battle of 1873 on the famed CNE grounds? It will be literally a carnival atmosphere. Pull together scullers and send them back deep into the murky Hamilton Harbor. I'm sneaky, low-key excited for that game. How about you?
I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah. For sure. Okay, let me get back on the horse. Pardon the pun, as I come from Calgary. Of the game notes here, game notes for Pump Jacks picks, and Pump Jacks game notes. BC home to Sask on Sunday. Riders coming off a season low 19-point performance. Saskatchewan 4-0 when rushing for 100-plus yards this year. They've allowed a league low, Saskatchewan, 16 big plays. Trevor Harris is 11-4 all-time against the BC Lions. Nathan Rourke, 3-4 all-time against Saskatchewan. And in his past 3 games, Xander Horvath has 355 rushing yards and 6 total tuds. Scruffy and I both picked BC to win. You obviously picked BC to win. You would pick BC even if they were playing God's team. God and his 12 disciples out there. You'd pick BC.
Yes.
Yes. What are you reading? What are you seeing for coverage out of this game? Because I'll sink into it way more when I get out there.
I mean, this is one of the biggest games of the year in BC regular season. They do put on a big promotion, as you know. It's a watermelon smash. And we talked about this yesterday. It's notoriously, you get a lot of Rider fans living in that area. So you get a lot of Rider fans attending the game. It's funny you said when Riders rush for over 100 yards, they're 4-0. That's why I feel BC is going to win. You're going up against one of the best defenses in the league. After that horrible start they had, they've turned it around. And if you look at almost every stat, BC's defense is 1-1-1-1-1. So I think it's going to be a long day for those green people.
We'll see. It's interesting you say that because I'm not stupid. I stayed at a Holiday Inn this week. I see the comments from Lions fans that all wanted Mike Benavides fired. Don't tell me you didn't see it.
I was one of them. I was one of them going, come on, man, we got to turn this around or he's got to go. And boy, did they turn it around. Holy crack.
So how do you feel now?
I feel like I should just shut up and watch the game sometimes.
Well, I wasn't it you yesterday? You said something about so-and-so will do this because of fan pressure, whatever the hell it was. I can't remember. I'm like, they will not be influenced by the fans. Yes, owners are. What were we talking
about? Oh, Lowther.
Oh, Brett Lowther? Yeah. No, they'll make the decision based on what they see.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what the good teams do. Brendan writes in, he says, the Riders will have Emelis, Sod, Letcher, Conley, and Fry all back. This is a pick'em for sure. Vancouver Eric says, you're the only coverage of the game, RP. Media is on summer holidays here. No, I see that. And I'm also excited to, what did I tell you? Was that, maybe I didn't tell you this. I was talking to a Rider coach the other day, and I said, I'll see you at the walkthrough Saturday. He's like, no, you won't. I'm like, why not? He goes, we don't get in till Saturday night. We don't do walkthroughs on the road anymore. We talked about this earlier in the week. That was always a big thing. You had to be in the town 24 hours prior to the kickoff for media. And I think I blame Vancouver because I had a front row. So many times we would go to Vancouver, starting about 15 years ago, and there would be no media there. And our coaches are like, what the hell did we rush here for? But there's no media here. And fast forward to now, almost every market is like that. And one of the viewers wrote in here earlier, I can't remember, it might have been Vancouver Eric. He's like, maybe the fans don't care about that stuff. You know what I mean?
It just drives me nuts because you have a small podcast like the Hughes Sports Podcast. We're not huge. We're not the Rod Pedersen Show. We're up and coming. But we want to cover this league, and trying to get access becomes next to impossible during the season. The CFL's not at the
because they're busy. Yeah.
I find it's the teams. It's like, come on, give us a player that we can talk to on your bye week. Reach out, like make an effort for these podcasts. There's a bunch of us doing it.
It's John in Edmonton. I know. John in Edmonton says it's Football Friday. What are your thoughts on the NFL commissioner saying eventually we will have an international team? How would that even work? Go back to Tuesday when that happened, and Scruffy and I spent an hour on it. So, yeah, thanks. Thanks for showing up, but we've been here all week talking about these things. We'll be right back. More with Kevin the Medium right after this on the RP Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Dean, Brody, and the Wreck Loss teaming up for the Hometown Heroes Tour.
If there's work, you know I'm gonna work.
Live at Temple Garden Center, November 9th.
Can't blame nobody else. I can't help myself.
Two of Canada's biggest country acts. One stage, one unforgettable night on the Hometown Heroes Tour. Tickets on sale now at the Temple Garden Center box office or online at saskpix.ca.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Wonderful week of the RP Show, wrapping up here today with a Football Friday. Still plenty of time left. Please support our sponsors, and thank you for those that do. Whether it's pizza, ribs, authentic Greek favorites, make it the Mad Greek Eatery tonight, open until 11 p.m. Visit their website, themadgreekeatery.com. I want to thank all the people that came out in Calgary. They are supporting our sponsors. Kevin the Medium's here. This is the final segment with him. That Gary Verity in Calgary, he's a real one. And he came up to me. He goes, I went into Moose Jaw this summer. I walked right up to John at the Mad Greek, and I said, I'm here because of Rod Pedersen. So, Gary, thank you. He gave me a Tim Hortons gift card the other day at Overtime Hockey. Gary, you are a real one, and I appreciate and all the people that are supporting our sponsors. I know that you are because the sponsors are telling me, so thank you. From the audience, Sean in Vancouver says, Happy Football Friday, Ride. Make sure you check the Terry Fox Plaza before the game Sunday. And Kev, get your tissues out. Go Riders. Wayne in BC says, hang on. Do you hate Rider fans, Kev?
I don't.
Okay.
They
hate you.
I live with a Rider fan.
I think she just stuck her head on the screen there. Or maybe not. There's so much. Oh, it's on my screen. I know everybody's saying they're distracted by what's going on behind me, including my co-host. I will tell the viewers that are distracted, close your eyes. Kev, don't close your eyes.
Oh.
Kevin, Wayne from Victoria says, hey, Rod, I wanted to go to the game at BC Place Sunday, but I couldn't be assured that I could catch the ferry back to Victoria. Part-time fan. Bro, I got hotels. I'm staying 3 nights in downtown Vancouver. That's dick all for a big outfit like this. I'm just saying. But it was important to me. It's 10 home games a year. It's your Riders. You can't get a hotel. Whatever. It's your life. I'm not telling people what to do. But I'm excited. What, Kev? What?
Well, I mean, the crowd is showing up. You said it. They're talking. They've opened up the Upper Bowl, or they're going to be opening up the Upper Bowl. So I haven't looked at how many tickets have been sold, but if they're doing that, I mean, the crowd's got to be there.
Well, they're coming from everywhere. And I'm teasing Wayne. You're a big fan of ours. You're a big I get it. You're retired. The whole deal. This is a work trip for me, obviously. Hey, what should I do, by the way? Uber it downtown from the airport, or as my friend said, she said to take the train. I said, I'm such a farmer. I never even thought about the train.
I know you, and I know you well, so I wouldn't steer you wrong. Do not get on the train. Uber it.
Why do you say that? Because I was going to get on the train because she told me to.
You will regret taking the train.
Okay. What'll Uber cost me from the airport at downtown Van? It's been a while, so I can't.
50 to $75, I'm guessing. I don't know.
I can handle that. Okay. Well, Vancouver Eric says SkyTrain. Okay, whatever. I'll figure it out when I get there. We got a show to do. This ain't the travel show. Vancouver says Lions move start times to 4 p.m. for Island fans. No excuses. Brendan says, according to Matt Young, about 20,000 tickets sold so far for Sunday in BC. What does it take to open up the Upper Bowl? What's the lower seat? Do you know?
I thought the lower bowl was 27,000. So if it's only 20,000 sold, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't compute. Yeah, I feel like it would be more than that. Vancouver Eric says $45. Okay, I think I can handle that with our outfit. I think I can handle that. It's a very important weekend to me. Going to see some important people. Carlos in Indiana says the practices or open session behind you give off a pregame vibe for the show. I guess. Sure. Let's go with that. Producer Corey says, by the way, I'm not done talking about my 2 days in Calgary because they were amazing, and I'm so happy you were there. I think you guys had a good time too. Producer Corey says, well, he's not the only guy. Somebody wrote in about the Flames' new arena. Here it is. He says, a weird design. Producer Corey says this. Looks like it was designed by the Partridge family. Somebody wrote into my Twitter and said it looks like an event center. I'm going to say this now. don't cancel me in Calgary. Some already have. It's kind of basic. That design is kind of basic for the Flames arena. What do you think?
When I saw the pictures of it, the plans for it, I kind of looked at it and went, oh, that's not what I thought they would do. I thought they would go something flashier. But if you're familiar with the area, you got BMO Center, which is the entertainment center, the convention center right in front of it. And it has those curvy lines. I think they're going with that same look. I think it's going to be a cool area. I think it's going to turn into a very ice district up in Edmonton, that type of feel to it, but bigger. Because of course, if Edmonton does it, Calgary's got to do it bigger. So,
but it doesn't look bigger. But I mean, it's sleek, it's clean. I mean, I'm not complaining about it, but I look at T-Mobile Arena, it's like shaped like a curling rock, which is cool. The rink in Edmonton shaped like an oil drop if you see it from the top. Like it just, and then you got football stadiums like LA, SoFi. You didn't even look like a football stadium. I don't even know what. It looks like a spaceship. You got the new Washington football stadium's got a dang saddle on it. Like, hello, we're moving away from those. So anyways, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Argos Bill says, hotel airport shuttle, Rod, it's free. Okay. We'll see if the hotel has one. Thanks for the help. That's the one thing about our audience, Kev. They care. By the way, I'm keeping my eye on the National Football League. So bear with me for a sec. Forgive me, Kev. Poll question today for EMJ Marketing. And you can take a swing at it, Kevin, if you want. Is who should start at quarterback in week 1? Actually, I do have some. This is a life thing. It's not a football thing. For the Las Vegas Raiders, Fernando Mendoza. He threw a pick 6, as a matter of fact. And he's getting roasted on social media today for it. And I'm like, Fernando Mendoza or Kirk Cousins are your options. And I feel sorry for the kid because he's doing everything right. Like Abu Meshrik, did you hear him say yesterday, Abu? He goes, I'd like to take that kid behind the barn and rough him up and beat him up. He's too pure. He's too nice. He's too great. And I'm like, why would you want to sully that? The kid's done everything right in his life. Why would anybody want to hate on that? That stuff pisses me off.
Isn't that society in a nutshell right now? If you have something that's really nice and really pure, they want to sully it. They want to make it dirty again. I looked at
That's gross.
It is. I looked at the poll this morning, and Cousins is going to start. I mean, is there an option there? He hasn't been beaten out of the position, I guess, is the only way to really say it.
Well, it's just funny, dude. But if you really get into it, because I was out for a walk this morning listening to Mike Florio, and he goes, well, think about it this way. They're playing Miami in week 1. Kev, you and I could beat the Miami Dolphins. So he's like, why not put Mendoza in, and then he'll win, and all of a sudden it's a great start to his career. Like, it's not totally unheard of. I don't think they'll do it, and I can't wait to hear from Mike Davis next hour. But that's what's fun about these discussions is that kind of talk. You're playing a weakling. You're playing a weak sister in week 1, so why wouldn't you put him in? It's just for instance, you're not following the NFL as closely as me and a lot of our viewers. What are you seeing out of because you can't escape it. What do you see?
You can't. It's everywhere you turn. It's the NFL. It's funny because what I see is all the hype, of course, because I don't get into the weeds, so I see it from the mile high.
Yep.
And you see the who's going to start and what are Seattle, and of course that's my team. What is Seattle going to do this year? Can they repeat? It's more of that higher level stuff than getting into the weeds and who's going to start here? Which team is going to come out of the weeds? Yeah, it's too early.
Which is totally. Oh, trust me, I get it. I totally get it. But it's a little like what I've discovered very fast in South Florida with college football. The second I dip my toe into the water, that riptide just pulls you. So either you can't put your foot in at all or be prepared to get sucked under. And the NFL is actually no different, and it's fun. It's just really big and really immense. And I get the people that love the CFL because it's actually pretty simple and easy to follow, right? And we all feel like we know all the guys. and gals, in the league. So, yes. What are we at? Under a minute. Kev, 30 seconds. The last word is yours.
I am really looking forward to Sunday's game, obviously. All joking aside, I hope you have a great weekend without me. And I think the BC Lions are going to treat you the way you need to be treated. So enjoy it.
Thank you so much, buddy. Thanks for everything. Have a good weekend. RP Show continues right after this.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote your rebel, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're going to get real here in a second. Not that we haven't been, but real-er. After I tell you that we're brought to you in part by the Ultimate Fan Zone, your authentic MLB fan store for official jerseys, hats, T-shirts, hoodies, and more. Game day every day at UFZ. I'm going to miss that place because there ain't anywhere like it that I've seen in America. It's where I get my gear. Except for this, I'm rocking the CFL PA shirt today in support of my boys. The text line's open, 902-518-3033. From trucks to SUVs, Western Dodge has what you're looking for. Visit their showroom, westerndodge.ca. And also, rep the show you love. I should be wearing RP Show stuff, but you can. Don't just watch the RP show. Wear it. Shop at rodpeterson.com. Click on RP Store. Just one couple things. Jeff, the Stamps fan's annoyed that I said the new Flames arena is basic. He writes in and says everyone complains that the current arena looks like a saddle, and now complain that the new one's too plain. I never complained that it looked like a saddle, and I want to tell you that I went down there on Wednesday afternoon, and I stood there, and it was I said that this was coming. I said, I'm going to have a moment, because then I'm tearing up thinking about it. When I was 9, I was standing on the ground floor of the Saddle Dome. The shell was up, the roof was not. And I was standing there with my dad and his best friend, Doug Sauter, who at that time was the coach of the Calgary Wranglers. And Doug looked up and he was like, guys, we're going to put a saddle on this thing for the roof. And we're like, what? I was 9, because my dad took me everywhere to these hockey places. If you want to know why I am, blame them. So not very far from that, the new place, 44 years later after that moment occurred. Maybe I was 8. Not old, but I remember that day. And I'm like, and now this new place is being built. So I always thought the saddle was iconic like everybody else. Daniel in Winnipeg says, BC opened up the upper deck. Very good crowd they were expecting. Then he says, sorry, Rod, you already announced it. Yes, I did. First thing out of my mouth today. I'm getting on the bird later today, flying to Vancouver, going to be at the game. It's just, to quote John Frenzy, it's just going to be fantastic. Carlos in Indianapolis writes in. He says, on the poll question, who should start week 1 for the Las Vegas Raiders? He says, I'd go with Cousins for the time being. Let Mendoza develop a little on the bench first. And that's, by the way, if I was a football coach, they shouldn't listen to sports radio, but they do. Trust me, because they're all my friends. So they see what everybody's saying. And I couldn't do it. I don't listen to things that piss me off. I don't. But Mike Florio is one of the most influential media people in the NFL. And this morning he's on the air saying that maybe they should start Mendoza against Miami. Anybody can beat them. A slump buster in week 1. Just don't listen to these guys, yet the coaches get so mad. Vancouver Eric says, great young RP story. I think about it all the time, but I especially thought about that on Wednesday, especially when Dad's no longer with us. 902-518-3033. And that's the thing with Football Fridays. You all know what you're going to get here. And that's another thing. Well, on Football Fridays, it's going to be all football. So we haven't got to the Blue Jays, which I'm sure Kev would have liked to. We haven't got to the LPGA, which I should mention. And college football, I've been waiting all week to get to it. But our studies show you'd rather us talk CFL. So we have. When the college kicks off, we'll get it more into that. And I'll get into it a bit with Mike Davis next hour. But I did get a lot of messages from people that really enjoyed Murph yesterday, because we did NFL, CFL, NCAA. You're not getting this stuff anywhere else, which reminds me, Mike Richards' big announcement today. He is returning to Calgary airwaves. QR Calgary, AM 770. And I'll be honest, I'll get real again. And Vancouver, Eric, I'm hearing what's going on in Vancouver with sports radio there. I'll find out a lot more when I'm there this weekend. And I'm amongst the people. But I just came from Calgary. Saturday mornings, Mike Richards returning to QR Calgary, the home of the Stampeders and now the home of the Flames. Mike and I talked this morning. We're 2 old-time Canadian radio guys, right? And even though we're covering rival teams or whatever, we were like this then and still are. And Mike Richards said this morning, he's like, brother, you and I are going to be the last 2 standing in this country. I said, let's do it together, bro. And we plotted world domination. But he talked about how excited he was going to QR Calgary. And my point is, I'm seeing Jock Wilson today tweeting Mike Richards saying, welcome to the team. I don't even need to ask either one of them, because I know them both so well. They would have hated each other. Hated each other back in the day. And to sit here and see everything coming full circle, can you see it? Can you feel? Because I can. And I'm going to save the story for my 10 Things newsletter column this weekend. Sign up for it at rodpeterson.com. But when I tell you, I had never met Perry Berezan before. And here's a little inside story on Perry Berezan, Flames great, Stanley Cup champion. I never met him. And they told me he was hesitant to do the hot stove yesterday because he's not really up on what's going on with the NHL right now. And I said, hey, we'll get him on here. And he came up and introduced himself. And that's all I'm going to say. Before we started it, we had a great talk. He's a fan of this show. He might even be watching right now. All I'd ever heard was great things about Perry Pedersen. And obviously I watched him as a player. The things he said about this show and me personally, I will never forget. I'll tell you right now, you could have pushed me over with a feather. And his stories were just next level, man. Like, you got to do these hot stoves. And after people have seen us doing them yesterday, my inbox has been flooded with people who want to do events. I'm like, guys, I'm leaving in a week. Where the hell were you? So it looks like I'll be coming back this winter to be doing a lot more because we had so much fun. We raised more money than ever. It's the way things go. Again, 902-518-3033. Daniel, who are you talking about? He says, I think they will win at least one game. You talking about Ottawa? I felt a little ashamed and dirty yesterday with a poll question. Is Ottawa the worst team in CFL history? You know what? They might be on the way to being the worst team in CFL history, though, with them being mollywopped last night, 46-16. Which, by the way, Edmonton Sports Radio 1440 was crediting Eddie Steele for that term, mollywopped. I'm pretty sure Eddie picked that up in Saskatchewan. So give credit where it's due. Oh, Kirk in Toronto, you hang on. You hang on. He wants to talk about the Jays. I'll mention it next hour. I appreciate you. I know you're not going anywhere, so just hold on. Oh, my God, I've got 3 different... But actually, way more than that advice in my head. Sean in Vancouver says, grab the train, Rod. It's easy peasy and takes you right downtown. Get off at Burrard. They should call that street Burrard. But I don't know. I'm trying to get through this damn show, and then I'll worry about how I'm getting from the airport to downtown Vancouver. Wayne in Victoria, BC. I was chastising him earlier for not coming in from the island for the game. And he says, yeah, you're right. If it was 10 years ago or so, I'd be there for sure. I get it, bro. I get it. And if I didn't have special invites and being treated real specially, I probably wouldn't go either. But as it turns out, it's going to be the highlight of my absolute summer. And you wait and see who I'm hanging with. It's going to be great. Again, 902-518-3033. We do have a few moments here. Forgive me for repeating, I guess. Number 1 was the CFL and the Montreal mollywopping Ottawa last night, 46-16. We talked about it. Point 2, NFL preseason. I'll say it now because I have a different script for hour 2. Fernando Mendoza threw for 86 yards, 1 interception, and was sacked once, but his Las Vegas Raiders still won 22-20 at Houston on Thursday. Kirk Cousins didn't play. Elsewhere, Jacob Cowing returned a punt 83 yards for a touchdown for San Francisco and a 41-17 rout of the Chargers in L.A. 3 games tonight, Jets at Steelers, Packers at Jaguars, and Packers at Broncos. We will not be making preseason NFL picks for Pump Jack Steakhouse and Saloon because we're not degenerate gamblers like Scruffy. He is literally a professional gambler, and I love that for him. Point 3, George Springer drove in 2 runs and Shane Bieber pitched 7 strong innings as the Toronto Blue Jays beat the Tampa Bay Rays 5-1 Thursday. The Jays won the series and remain a half game out of a wild card spot, entering a weekend series at the New York Yankees. Hour 1 is brought to you by Suds. Sign up for the Suds Rod Squad Sunday newsletter presented by Suds Full Service Car Wash. The 10 Things column, feature interviews, betting tips, hot takes, and more. Sign up for free at rodpeterson.com. Your vehicle deserves Suds. Point 4, because I feel like we're going to get hung up on U.S. topics next hour on Silver State Sports. Several Canadians are near the top of the CPKC Women's Open leaderboard at Edmonton's Royal Mayfair Golf Club. Defending champion Brooke Henderson of Smithfields, Ontario, is not one of them. She's tied for 14th at 3 under 67. The college football, let me just read it. I've had this ready to go all week. Point 5. College football coaches and the media who cover them agree on a lot, apparently. At least they do when it comes to preseason rankings. The Associated Press this week released its preseason poll, and the media's rankings closely reflect the coaches' poll published 2 weeks prior. The top 10 is nearly identical in the 2 polls, with just a slight differentiation. AP has Lane Kiffin's LSU Tigers at number 11, while the coaches have them at number 13. The opposite is true for Alabama. They couldn't agree on where to put Washington and Tennessee. They both have Ohio State at number 1. I hope you enjoyed when we had Richard Holdridge on with us last week from WQVZ, my brother from another mother, my American brother from another mother, Richard Holdridge. My Canadian brother from another mother is Les Lazaruk. But he talked about his everybody's got a top 10 in the States in college football. I don't. I'm not sure if I'm even going to wade into that gigantic ocean of U.S. football coverage when I have a very nice big piece of the Florida NHL pie. I'm very happy with that. Ken in Mississauga writes in, he says, I feel bad for Jake Mayer in a way, but he has likely made over $1 million over the last 5 years doing what he loves. Good point. I'll bring that up tomorrow. Sorry, next hour. Jeff the Stamps fan, the Mike Richards Show will be great. We need a Saturday afternoon programming on QR. So, yeah. Hour 1's been fun. Hour 2 may be more fun. Mike Davis will join us for that. We'll be right back after this on the RP Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
It's a little thing we call Football Friday. We're putting a wrap on what's been an outstanding week of shows here on the RP. So dare I say we're saving the best for last. I feel like we are. Welcoming viewers across Las Vegas and Nevada on Silver State Sports. Hello again to those watching across Canada. Game Plus streaming, podcast version, of course, WQVZ Radio, West Central Georgia and Eastern Alabama. Shout out Rhino Radio. How do you like us so far? We're back in our home Golden Ticket Sports Center. Don't be distracted by the volleyball camp that's going on over our shoulder. If it's distracting, close your eyes. Our guest today, coming up in the next segment for Prairie Panels, is Mike Davis of the Vegas Nighthawks, the head coach and general manager. The Major Indoor Football League crowned a champion last weekend. Did you hear who it is? Maybe you didn't. We'll keep you in suspense on that one. But on a Football Friday, as we open up with the Quick Six show topics with our friends, brought to you by our friends at Uniglobe Carefree Travel, the official travel partner of the RP show and the CFL's BC Lions. And a little bit of disclaimer here. Right after the show, I'm jumping on the plane and heading to Vancouver for the big Canadian Football League game Sunday, BC Lions against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. For those that love the CFL a lot, we talked about the whole league, all of hour one. Hour two, which is hour one in Nevada, we're talking National Football League. And top pick, Fernando Mendoza, is finding out quickly that he has a lot of work to do as he begins his NFL career. Mendoza struggled in his second preseason game Thursday night, throwing an interception that Houston returned for a touchdown before the Raiders rallied for a 22-20 victory over the Texans on Monday night. Now, if you could wade through all the crap that you see on social media, there was a lot of interesting things being said about that game. For instance, Zig Fracassi is on this show regularly, our dear friend from NFL Radio, said preseason or not, that was an unbelievable comeback by the Raiders. But as far as Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner who led Indiana to a national title, they played the first half and went 8 of 15 for 86 yards. The performance came after he threw a touchdown pass in his preseason debut last week against Arizona. That game I was able to watch. I was not able to watch last night's game as I was driving. But let's just put this in park for a second, because we do have a lot of Raiders fans watching. And this is so much fun to debate, by the way. I'll just tell you right now, the poll question is for EMJ Marketing, Elite Keynote Speakers Bureau. And the poll question is, who should start week one for the Raiders, QB1? Kirk Cousins or Fernando Mendoza? I'll tell you right now, I haven't even looked at the results. Because quite frankly, spoiler alert, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what you think. It really only matters what Clint Kubiak, the head coach of the Raiders, thinks. And maybe Tom Brady. So while it's been a whirlwind of travel this week and all the rest, I still had time to get out this morning for my walk. So I was listening to Mike Florio on Pro Football Talk, NBC Sports Radio, and listen, man, you understand it's all gobbledygook and manure. And he's my favorite of peddling the manure, but it all is just talk. And he said a couple of things coming off of this. He's not saying it should be Fernando Mendoza starting. He had Michael Hawley with him from the Boston Herald or Boston Globe, whatever. He says, just think about this for a second. We all think it's going to be Cousins, probably will be. Mike Davis, who's joining us next from the Vegas Nighthawks, has been saying since the day they drafted Mendoza that he won't even take a snap this year. But they're playing Miami in week one. And a U12 girls flag football team, boys football team, doesn't matter the gender, could beat the Miami Dolphins. And Florio says this morning, he goes, well, put them in there. It's a slump-busting game for anybody. Give them the confidence to win against Miami. And what saddened me a little was Florio goes, the game's in Miami. That's where he's from. That's where he won the national title. I'm like, no, the game's in Vegas. And just yesterday, for you, those of you that were watching, we had the 10-year pro O-lineman Mike Abumeshri on here. He's like, oh, that game's in Europe, right? So both games have to travel. No. Are people gaslighting me? The game is in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, and I almost wonder, what does that really even matter? Does it matter? But welcome to the era of sports talk, and it's not new in 2026. It has been ever since we've been on the air. And Coffee Row, same thing. It's going to be Kirk Cousins. But it's just everybody's got an opinion. Everybody wants to talk. And right now, it's funny because Kevin the Medium was with us last hour. He's a professional medium, a practitioner, as he told me the other day. I said, you don't follow the NFL really at all. What are you seeing? And He said he's just seeing Seahawks coverage because that's his team. All I'm seeing is Fernando Mendoza coverage. And is that because I'm searching Raiders stuff? I'm wearing Raiders gear? I don't know, but all I'm seeing is Fernando Mendoza stuff. And it upset me a little bit yesterday on the program when Abu Meshrik was on here. Again, 10-year pro, offensive lineman, champion, Hall of Famer, actually. He said that he just wants to take Mendoza behind the barn and rough him up because he's too prim and proper and too perfect and too pretty. I'm like, what's wrong with you? That kind of talk bothers me. I'm just going to say it now. Vancouver Eric says, the kid's done nothing right. He's a great kid. He won a national championship with Indiana. He's done nothing wrong. He's got an ailing mom. He's everything. He's the Sidney Crosby of football. How can you hate a guy like that? What's wrong with you? That's what's wrong with the world. Vancouver Eric says, regarding Mendoza, keep the Ferrari in the garage. Break it in easy. Cousins to start. Of course, that's the whole thing. Calmer heads will prevail, but, no, I can't wait to get Mike Davis on the air next because he comes to it. I just realized that soap dispenser beside me is crooked. Oh, well. Can we get somebody come straighten that thing? The good teams are not influenced. The good owners are not influenced by the fans, which goes even furthermore to the Florio talk today. He said that some NFL teams are getting tired of the Brady talk, and they said that Tom Brady is not going to make the Raiders better. Clearly, he hasn't. La-di-da-di-da. The point is, can hype affect a decision is what I'm trying to land the plane on here. Can hype affect a football decision? And while I'd like to think that it can't, I think we've all seen a lot of exhibits where it has. And I don't know if Vegas is that team that would allow that to. I don't think so. Now, that is the owner's kid now, Mark Davis, but his dad's passed away. I don't think Mark Davis would affect football decisions. I'm not sure. But it's fun to talk about. Can somebody update the poll, by the way, and tell me what it's at in terms of who they think should start a quarterback in week 1 for the Las Vegas Raiders? But we'll get to the bottom of it coming up in the next segment for Prairie Panels when Mike Davis joins us from the Nighthawks. Prairie Panels, are you building a shop, barn, rink, or commercial space? Prairie Panels provides high-quality insulated wall and roof panels designed for durability and energy efficiency. Visit prairiepanels.ca or call 306-985-0050. There was another NFL preseason game last night, by the way. Jacob Cowing returned a punt, 83 yards for a touchdown for San Francisco in a 41-17 rout of the Chargers in Los Angeles. There are 3 games tonight. Jets at Steelers, Panthers at Jaguars, and Packers at Broncos, and we are not even going to attempt to make picks for pump jacks in those games. However, as we move on to point 2, and that is the Canadian Football League, and we'll be talking a lot about that with Mike Davis next because CFL alum he is. I want to say him and I were together, was it 5 seasons? I think it was 5 seasons. Whatever. It was a good time. Point 2 of the Quick Six show topics. With tickets moving fast for the 4th annual Watermelon Smash, the BC Lions announced Thursday that Upper Bowl seating is open for the big battle with the Saskatchewan Roughriders on Sunday at BC Place Stadium. I will be in attendance. The Rod Pedersen Show will be in attendance. Kickoff is 4 p.m. local. That's Pacific time. Tickets start at only $19 for kids and $25 for adults. We'll talk more about that game with Mike Davis next. As far as picks go look at the CFL schedule. Go look it up at CFL.ca. We've been talking about it this week with various co-hosts. We've got all the home teams to win this week. But Week 12 kicked off Thursday night. And I feel like we're getting some Nevada viewers are getting into this. This story of the Ottawa Red Blacks. Don't bother asking me about their name. I don't get it either. But they suffered their 10th straight loss to open the CFL season Thursday night, dropping in an ugly 46-16 decision to the league-leading Montreal Alouettes at Molson Stadium. It was fugly. In their first season under head coach and general manager Ryan Dinwiddie, close personal friend of mine, and Mike Davis's too, the Red Blacks became just the 9th team to lose their first 10 games of a season. They're 0-10 now. They're firing everybody. They reshuffled the president the other day. They didn't fire him, and nobody necessarily gets fired in those roles anymore. They've been cutting players, firing coaches, reshuffling the president. Nothing's changed. 0-10. And I know that it ruffled some feathers yesterday that our poll question was, is this the worst team in the history of the Canadian Football League? I don't care if your feelings were hurt. Win a game. Tonight in the Canadian Football League, Winnipeg is at Edmonton, and that's a sneaky. We got some great games. We'll get through that with Mike Davis next. This one here, the Edmonton Elks are led by Nevada Wolfpack. Great. You know how close you people in Reno watching right now? Do you know how close Cody Fajardo was to coaching your team this year, being at least an offensive assistant? Very close. But he went back to Edmonton to play at the age 34, and he's got the team in first place in the West at 7-3, and they host the 5-4 Winnipeg Blue Bombers tonight, and we've got Edmonton to win. I believe they're favored by 6. Saturday's a huge one, too, by the way. It's what they call the Battle of the Queen Elizabeth Way, the QEW. That's the highway between Hamilton and Toronto. Those teams are playing. Hamilton at Toronto Saturday. Argos, quarterbacked by Jim Kelly's nephew, Chad, are favored by 4 points in the game. We've got the home teams to win them all. Those are our picks. The Quick Six Show topics are brought to you by Uniglobe Carefree Travel Group. When it comes to sports trips, group travel, or your next great getaway, trust the pros who handle every detail so you can enjoy the journey. Contact Neil Chark at Uniglobe Carefree Travel. I'm hoping to see Neil this weekend in Vancouver, but it's going to be very busy. For Kirk in Toronto, viewer, you're asking about this. Point 3, George Springer drove in 2 runs, and Shane Bieber pitched 7 strong innings as the Toronto Blue Jays beat the Tampa Bay Rays 5-1 Thursday. The Jays won the series. They remain a half game out of a wild card spot, entering a weekend series at the New York Yankees. And speaking of New York, that just triggered a story in my mind, which I'll get to in a second. But Kirk in Toronto writes in on the Western Dodge text line, 902-518-3033, says, Rod, don't look now, but are the Blue Jays on a heater? They almost never win in Tampa Bay. Well, there's positive people in this world. There's negative people in this world. I kind of get a kick out of the owner of the BC Lions, Amar Doman, who I'll be seeing this weekend. He said to me, tell your co-host Scruffy he's too negative. I've been trying to tell him that for 30 years. You're not going to change a negative person. Newsflash, you're not going to change a negative person. But as far as the Blue Jays go, I said it at the start of the week that the question you just asked, I said, are the Blue Jays, not only are they back because we were on the bandwagon, we were off. Now we're back on again. They took 3 of 4 off the Red Sox. They swept the Yankees at Rogers Center. They went into Tampa Bay and won 2 of 3. And Mitch is like, they're not a good team. Look at who they've beat. Some of the best teams in the majors. They've won 6 straight, I think it's 6, might be 7, consecutive series. So there is such a thing about addition by subtraction. Like, for instance, the Eagles people are telling me, the Philly media, Ricky Ricardo, their voice is a good friend of mine. They're like, we'll be better without A.J. Brown. That happens. So I don't think any of us believe that Kevin Gosman or Dalton Varsho are locker room cancers. They're not, but they had to go on expiring deals. It was hard for everybody. And all of a sudden, the Blue Jays start winning. Addition by subtraction. This is a different case, but you can't argue with the results. And the Blue Jays, as I mentioned, are opening up a weekend series at the Yankees. So New York. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I hope I got time for this. Producer Corey, you tell me when we got to run. But I hosted a hot stove, that's what we call them in Canada, an open mic, whatever, with 3 former Calgary Flames. 2 minutes. Well, I'll make it quick. One of them is a former Flame by the name of Perry Pedersen. I'd never met him before. I'd heard nothing but great things about the guy. I remember when he played 40 years ago. He was hesitant to do the hot stove because he's like, I'm not really up on things. I said, can you tell stories? Yeah. Then you'll be fine. So he comes on. I said, what was it like being from Edmonton but playing for the rival Calgary Flames? He says, my uncle was the organist for the Edmonton Oilers in the 1980s. And when I was a little kid, he would play for me New York, New York by Frank Sinatra. Dun, 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 dun. So he said, when you come to Edmonton with the Flames, you listen. When I play New York, New York, that's for you. For his nephew, Perry Pedersen. Lo and behold, Hockey Night in Canada. Perry scores a goal in Edmonton for the rival Calgary Flames. What comes over the speakers? The organist. Dun, 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 dun. New York, New York, from his uncle. Oilers find out the story. Fire him. They fired his uncle. for playing a song for the Calgary Flames, but you happen to be his nephew. You want to talk about rivalry? Oh, and he also scored the game-winning goal, the series-clinching goal for the Flames against the Oilers in the Stanley Cup playoffs in 1986. The Steve Smith goal, if you know, you know. Perry Pedersen was credited with the goal. The Oilers scored on themselves. He skates back to the bench, sits on the bench. They're like, Flames goal scored by Perry Pedersen. He goes, I did? He said, I was the last one to touch the puck. I shot it in, and then they scored on their own net. It's crazy that he didn't even know he scored the goal. He goes, I go back to Edmonton that summer. My aunt wouldn't talk to me because they scored the goal to end the Oilers' Stanley Cup run. Hot stove. I said, and you were too shy to come on? And he just smiled. They said he stole the show at the hot stove yesterday. It was so much fun. Mike Davis going to steal the show when we come back, talking ball for all from the Vegas Nighthawks. We'll be right back. If you have any questions for Mike, write in on the streaming chat feed or the text line for Western Dodge, 902-518-3033. We'll be right back on the RP Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Welcome back, everybody. If you want something done right, do it yourself. We have straightened the soap dispenser, and all is good in the world. Like Mike Davis joining us. Hi, Coach. Hi.
Hey, buddy. How are
doing,
you?
man? I'm doing great. Vegas
Good.
Nighthawks head coach and GM Mike Davis joining us. We're going to jump right into the pool, Coach. 22-20. Raiders winning at Houston last night. Fernando Mendoza getting a little heat for the pick six. I'm assuming you watched the game.
Mm-hmm.
What was your take?
I was watching the debacle in Ottawa first, and then
Okay.
and then so I turned it on and was watching, and I thought Fernando played well. I think that he did enough. I mean, he's getting trial by fire. Here you go. And so as he's getting the trial by fire, it's he's going to have some good with some bad. He made some great throws. He forced the one pick six. So I mean, you have to take those issues. Like I tell this story all the time. I was in Kansas City at the Chiefs when Patrick Mahomes, it was his first practice, and I watched him throw interception after interception after interception, and I heard Andy Reid say, "Keep fitting it in there," and that you'll see. And then the next day, he came out and he looked like all pro.
Well, on his way to 3 Super Bowls and all the rest. No, I get it, but can you please, because what I'm seeing, Mike, all I'm seeing is Mendoza talk out of there. And Kirk Cousins doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would be fazed by that. But I know guys that would be. Like, is it too much? What's it like living there?
It's not. They know it. They know it. Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins' job. Like all these people that say, "Oh, it's Mendoza," not a chance. Not happening. I would be absolutely blown away. Like it's not. It's. They want to protect the young man. Is he ahead of where they thought? I think so. But he's just. I mean, they're going to do this the right way, and Kubiak seems like he's brilliant. Like how he's got it set up, it's exactly what one would draw it up, so to speak.
I know you want to talk about the Ottawa game, and we will get to that. But can you please indulge me? Because all anybody's talking about is what Mendoza did. What about the other positions on the other 23 positions? Sorry, this is America. 21 positions. The other 21 positions on the field. What did you see?
I think the Raiders O-line is going to be just fine. I think that they got to obviously have Genty, but the Washington kid, the steal they have in the 4th round, the running back is a superstar. I think defensively, they're way better. I mean, they have 2 monster. If you think about the old the Legion of Boom, as they used to call themselves in Seattle, you had Cam Chancellor, you had all these guys, Jamal Adams. If you look at the Raiders, the Malopala kid is like 6'4". They go get Jeremy Chin, who's a thumper. They're super long at corner. And then they go out and get Nakobe Dean and all those darn starters in free agency. They're poised to have a great setup and a great – if they can start fast and get the ball rolling downhill, it's going to be tough to stop.
Thank you for that. And the Dolphins in week 1 in Vegas. Okay, what are the other NFL training camp things that have caught your eye?
I got to be honest. Like, the Cowboys look absolutely phenomenal. I think, Caleb Downs and some of those guys have looked amazing. Then you add Von Miller. I think Joe Burrow and Cincinnati are going to be, another team as long as they stay healthy. The Chargers, they're not playing nobody, right? But they look like they could. They have something to say in the division as well. So, and obviously the Rams are the favorite. I'll just talk about the West Coast teams, right? Like Kelsey looks fantastic coming back for the Chiefs. It looks like he's lost about 20 pounds. Looks revived. Maybe that's a Taylor Swift moment, or I don't know.
I'll tell you what it is, but continue.
And it's just it's I don't know. It seems like the elder statesmen that everybody was trying to phase out are phasing themselves back in.
Travis Kelce is working out at Johnny O's Gymnasium in Boca Raton this winter. Just so you know, that my boy, he's a member there. Johnny O's gym. I gotta I got to pull that clip and send it to Johnny O. You're welcome. Thank you, Mike. Jeremy in Winnipeg writes in, he says, the Cowboys and Saints got a hefty fine. $500,000 for joint practice fights. I guess Jera is going to appeal it. What's your take on those joint practices and dialing guys back?
Guys are trying to make the team. I've never seen a joint practice that didn't end up in a fight. It didn't. So it happens. It's the nature of the beast.
Okay. Good stuff on that. To the Canadian Football League. We had a lot of comments coming in. I'll try to get to as many as I can. 902-518-3033, the text line. 46-16. The Montreal Alouettes destroyed the Ottawa Redblacks last night at McGill in Montreal. The Redblacks are 0-10. I mentioned earlier before you got on, I said you're personal friends, as am I, with Ryan Dinwiddie. Are you feeling for that guy, the first-year coach and GM there, and everybody? Nobody likes to be 0-10.
I hate losing. I hate seeing him lose, right? But at the end of the day, when you take jobs, and I've told them, I will tell anybody this. If you say, hey, I'm going to be the head coach and GM, and a team has been terrible, and you don't make any changes, what do you expect? You're going to be terrible. So what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a little deeper on that. A lot of the pundits, or two of them, Henry Burris and Chris Streveler, saying that talent is not an issue. Chris Streveler and Henry Burris saying talent is not an issue in Ottawa and that culture is. Do you go along with that?
They're terrible.
Whatever it is.
Like,
yeah, okay.
Here you go. That's not fair. I can't say they're terrible, right? But the cupboard is not full. Right, like you look what they did. They let go of Geno Lewis. They let go of some vets that were making a hefty penny, and they did that to try to get some younger guys. And they have some younger guys that are playing better. But I think Jake Mayer's playing terrible. Nothing against McLeod. He's old. Like I think they saddled up the wrong pony.
Yep.
And I feel for him, but something. At the end of the day, all these guys in the world we live in sports, CFL, NFL, some IFL teams, whatever, they're so worried about the analytical part of the game. And I got to find this guy that's 6'3" and jumps this and runs this. You know what? Give me 4 or 5 great football players. And I'll put those guys up against the analytical part all the time, right? And I'm not saying that's what Dinwiddie and Ottawa are doing, but give me some good football players that love it. And I'll win some football games.
You and I were talking about this on the phone the other day. Baseball started that analytics thing, and now baseball's getting away from it. And I'm just saying the sooner the teams can all get away from it. Like, listen, you're sitting there as the coach and GM of a championship football team. He didn't do it this year, but he did last year. What's the analytics role with the Vegas Nighthawks?
About 50-50. 50-50. You turn around and you look at it. You gotta there's a split. You got to know what you're doing, right? And you go from there.
Vancouver Eric writes in. He says after 9 weeks, CFL defenses have started to figure it out. What changed?
I mean, you have to figure it out. There's only so many things offenses can do, right? At the end of the day. There's only so many. Okay, hold on. So there's only so many things you can do. Sorry, Daddy Daycare.
No, that's okay. You want to put him on the camera? Can he see himself? I just call him Baller. You want to introduce him to the world? Is he happy there?
This is Rhodes. Say hi.
Wait. Hey, Rhodes. How you doing, buddy?
He's like, no, thank you. The biggest bashful guy in the world. So,
2 guys.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Hey, 2 guys born in Regina right there. And you're the third that you're not. So that's what he and I have in common. Anyway, no, but I'm sorry. Should we let you go? Is he okay?
Give me 10 seconds. I got to run him to the restroom, unfortunately.
Okay, no problem. Hey, throw up the sign there, please, producer Corey. And I'll read a couple of the comments that have come in while he's gone. Arlen Bruce writes in, he says, great day, RP and Coach Davis. If you're looking for an individual that knows X's and O's and knows how to score in big games and has an eye for talent, I'm your guy. Look good in red. AB, you should be applying to the Ottawa Redblacks. Throttle writes in. He says, I'm watching late, but here's my comment on the train in Vancouver. It's still known as transit. Did you want privacy or maybe have a conversation with another rider who happens to recognize you? That's your choice. I don't know. What he's talking about, folks, is I'm going to Vancouver later today, flying there for the weekend, going to be taking in the CFL game Sunday, and I'm trying to decide. It's really not that big a deal to me. It's a bigger deal to everybody else how I get from the airport to downtown Vancouver. I'm trying to get through this show, as you've noticed. 902-518-3033. That is the text line brought to you by our friends at Western Dodge. I'm not sure if I should jump into the now, we don't have time here to get into the sports update. From Brian in Vancouver, BC, he writes, oh, there he goes. He goes, are you coming to Vancouver, Rod? Yes, I'm coming to Vancouver tonight, and we're good to go. All right, you good, Coach?
Good. The potty training thing is a different world.
Doesn't matter the age. You're wiping butts. They're players, kids, you name it. Hey, trust me, I get it. Can you just examine that a little more about how the CFL defenses, they have slowed down these quarterbacks? How did that happen?
Yeah, I think early on you saw guys taking shots over and over and over, and now that people are playing more on the roof, right? So you have to be more methodical and nickel and dime teams and offenses and go from there. I just think that, these teams aren't ready to get in shootouts anymore, so it's got to dial back.
Okay, well, for the what I love is a lot of our viewers that wouldn't have normally been following the CFL, they are now in America because of this show. So there were a few teams in the first half that were written off by some. I don't think by you and I, but the BC Lions were one. But they were 1-5. They've now won 3 in a row going into Sunday's game. Hamilton Tiger Cats were written off, and even though they don't have their quarterback, Bo Levi Mitchell, they're coming off a win last week against Saskatchewan, so Hamilton's coming back. How about the teams that were at the top in the first half? Do you see any of them turning it around the other way? Like the first place Edmonton, Sask. Montreal's not slowing down, the leaders in the East. But do you see what I'm saying? Some teams have picked it up. Do you see any going the other way?
I don't know about going the other way. I just think that the parity's starting to level out. You had teams that came out super, super hot, super fast. Edmonton, Montreal. And Montreal's the only one that's kind of just kept their stride and kept running. Right? Mm-hmm. Edmonton's falling back to the pack. You knew BC was going to be a good football team. They have a great coach. They have a great staff. Rick Maiden and them and Neil, they do a great job. So at the end of the day, they were going to figure it out. They just had to hope that the teams and the pace setters, we'll call them, didn't run away with it. And they haven't. They've stumbled and they've come back to the pack. So now it's, okay, what are we doing? Like Dinwiddie made a comment last night, we're still not out of the playoffs. I would beg to differ, but mathematically they're not.
He's got to say that.
But you got to win games.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you got to win games. He's trying to keep the locker room together. I understand that.
You'd be saying the exact same thing. You know that. You'd be saying the exact same thing if you were in his shoes, right?
100%. Because if you didn't, you lose the locker room. If you didn't, you lose the locker room. And that's just what it is. And so for them, like, I understand the approach. I feel for them. Yes, they're not out of it. But the cupboard's not bare, right? So, yeah, G-Roy and Henry probably are right in some respect because the cupboard the culture was bad. So you have to turn that around. But at the end of the day, you still have to – you got to get a win under your belt and let the floodgates open and see what happens after that.
4 minutes left only, Mike. Viewer Eric says, thank you, Cody Fajardo, for coming back and saving the Elkamo franchise. We love talking about him here on Silver State Sports because he's a Reno guy, or at least he has a house there now. Wolfpack, great. Is it that easy to say that Cody Fajardo saved Edmonton? I think there's a few more people that can take credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, look at the young guys. Rankin, they went out and got Austin Mack from Montreal. Like Ed and company have done a really good job reconstructing the roster, and the young guys that they hitched their wagon to are playing well, right? And the O-line, everybody's like, oh, they lost the best O-lineman in the league, so you got to give Sorrells a little bit of credit, right? They lose Martez Ivy, they go out and the O-line holds up, and they're being able to run the ball. Like, I mean, again, you have to give them credit where credit's due, and those guys have done. They're doing what Ottawa should have done. Ottawa should. I'm playing all my rookies. This season's going to be a wash, but we're going to start next year on a heater. And there's no difference from there's no substitute for experience.
That's the definition of putting a Band-Aid on it or digging out the. You know what I mean? That's the difference. Different ways of doing it. Okay, 3 minutes left. Please give me your preview of Saskatchewan Roughriders of BC Lions. It's the narrowest point spread of the week. Lions by 1.5. What's your read on that game at BC Place?
Oh man, BC's a tough place to play. I think Sass is a better team. Genuinely, I do. I think top to bottom. But also think that the Lions, they're not desperate, but their back's against the wall, right? Like Sass can afford to lose a game. BC's not in that. They don't have that same luxury, right? So I do think that BC gets them at home. And it's a tough travel.
Should be one hell of a quarterback matchup. Nathan Rourke versus Trevor Harris.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Nathan, he hasn't really played well this year. He hasn't. Like, he got all those weapons, and he hasn't been the Nathan Rourke, the CFL savior that everybody quoted him, and that's what he's going to be. Is it too much pressure? Has people caught on to him? Are they just not making the plays? I don't know what it is, but they're in a situation where they must win. Not must win, but they need to win.
Right, you got to win your division games. There's no doubt. By the way, I will caution you and warn you: don't say that about Nathan Rourke anywhere within earshot of a BC fan, a staff member. I don't know what it is. They lose their minds when you say something like that.
I know, but that's why you can say it here on your show, and not have to worry about it.
That's what's fun about it. Yeah. Okay, a minute and about 2 minutes left here. Your major indoor football league meetings were last week in Tucson. What can you tell us? What came out of it?
Expanded to 18 teams, maybe 20. They have a couple meetings this week. Good. The Arizona Rattlers won. Obviously, the team that we lost to. We kind of figured whoever won our game was going to win the championship. And overall, the league's in a great spot. You know, there's a bunch of media right deals kind of on the table. They're trying to just navigate through those and figure out what's best for everybody.
All right. Sounds good. Well, Mike, I appreciate the time so much. As always, enjoy the ball this weekend, and we'll chat with you next week.
Perfect. Thanks, Rod.
We'll be coming right back with a sports update. 902-518-3033 is brought to you by Western Dodge. And viewer takeover the rest of the way. We haven't even got into that college football story, but we will as we talk about the top 10 rankings from both the Associated Press and the coaches poll coming up, and whatever you would like to discuss as we roll into a very fun weekend of football, CFL and NFL, and the college football talk. Again, through the live streaming or the text line 902-518-3033. We'll be right back. Silver State Sports Game Plus podcast and WQVZ Radio.
Ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band.
You know your man is working hard. He's worth the team.
Saturday, December 5th, Temple Garden Center. Now. The Gene Simmons Band performing your favorite classic hits. Tickets on sale now at sasktix.ca. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
Get ready to make unforgettable memories with your little ones at Elmo's Got the Moves, the all-new Sesame Street live show coming to your neighborhood. Friday, December 4th, Temple Garden Center. Tickets on sale now at Sask Tigs.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world! Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world! Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. For the rest of the way on what's been a fantastic week here on the RP Show, we're going to do a sports update. We're going to pinball back and forth. Viewer comments, sports update, viewer comments again. Let's see what they got here. Who was it that said, because our poll question today is who should start at quarterback in week 1 for the Raiders? Fernando Mendoza or Kirk Cousins. Wayne writes in, he says, so it really doesn't matter who starts at quarterback for the Raiders. They don't have any good receivers. Does the name Brock Bowers ring a bell? From what I understand, he has been a monster in training camp for the Raiders. They're 100% healthy going into the season, which not every team can say. You'd like to think that you are at this point of the season, but they're not. He's actually got more weapons, but what I will say, if I'm the Raiders, and for that matter, the BC Lions, count us out. Please count us out. As we were just talking about with Mike Davis there, and he says, what was the quote? Nathan Rourke hasn't been that good this year. I won't say that when I go to Vancouver this weekend because I don't want to have the windows smashed into my car. I don't know what it is. Brian writes in from the BC Lions Den podcast. He says, injured receivers. He's talking about the CFL thing here for BC. He says, the same thing Saskatchewan's Trevor Harris is going through. Had no running game until they started using Horvath. Nathan will be fine. Guys, God, you can't get so... Brian's not getting upset, but their staff blows up my phone if I say anything not 100% positive about Nathan Rourke. As I've said, they will win a Grey Cup, the CFL championship, with that owner, Amar Doman, maybe even this year. There are just certain people that are more committed to winning than others. I know that sounds... You'd think all owners are, right? They're not. Some care more about making money than winning. And that is a discussion for another day. 902-518-3033 is the text line. I'll get to your messages there in a second. I promised a sports update for Ultimate Fan Zone, which is where I got this Raiders jacket. Anytime I need something, they never let me down. Can you imagine walking into a sports memorabilia and clothing store, and every time you need something, they have it? That's Ultimate Fan Zone. Alcaraz is back. Carlos Alcaraz, who's missed the past 4 months with a wrist injury, announced that he will return for next week's U.S. Open, though the defending champion hasn't confirmed if he will participate in the singles draw. Also unconfirmed, world number one Jannik Sinner, whose knee injury has kept him off the court since winning Wimbledon. The Cavaliers gave James Harden a 3-year, $97 million extension, making the 11-time All-Star just the fourth player to eclipse $500 million in career earnings. LeBron, KD, and Steph are the others. Cleveland also acquired Peyton Watson from the Nuggets in a 5-team deal and then gave the young wing a 4-year, $88 million contract. Phoenix City's Kinley Rasmus struck out 8 batters on Wednesday, tying Monet Davis for the most by a girl in a Little League World Series game. Rasmus, one of just 25 girls ever to appear in the Little League World Series, is the daughter of former MLB pitcher Corey Rasmus and the niece of former MLB outfielder Colby Rasmus. Red Bull signed Max Verstappen to an extension through 2030, ending any rumors that the 4-time F1 champion might sign with another team. The 28-year-old Dutchman currently sits in 6th place and still seeks his first win of the season. And the Mariners are calling up left-handed pitcher Cade Anderson, MLB's top pitching prospect, to start tomorrow's game against the Cubs. Seattle took the Southpaw number 3 overall in 2025, 3 weeks after he led LSU to the College World Series title as the tournament's most outstanding player. The sports update is for the Ultimate Fan Zone, your authentic MLB fan store for official jerseys, hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and more. Game day every day at UFZ. Let's do this. Open phones. Hello. Coming back in overtime right after this. And I'm so happy that we were able to spend good time there this week at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. It's been a fantastic week, heading to the best weekend of the summer. Any questions you have, fire them my way. Let's do that coming back in the overtime segment. Okay, so for the live streaming audience, if you're watching on the Game Plus streaming channel, our own Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel, fire them in the chat there, or the Western Dodge text line, 902-518-3033. I'll handle them as much as I can. And to be honest, I got a lot of notes here that I haven't even got to yet today, because it has been a very busy show. And as you see, a whole lot of things going on. The most real show coming at you on television, radio, and streaming is the RP Show. Also, tonight's sports docket, Sports on Tap, we'll get to that as well for your viewing pleasure and what you might be interested. Things have slowed down a little bit, and I do kind of like it. I'm a hockey-first guy, but there's...
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Final segment. It's brought to you by Overtime. And this week you met the people behind Overtime, didn't you? Randy and Michelle. That was great, the live Wednesday show. So Brian from Vancouver, the Lions Den podcast, writes in and says, maybe see you at the game, RP. Oh, no, it was Daniel that said. Daniel in Vancouver says, maybe see you at the game, RP. Vancouver, Eric says, have a great trip, RP. Enjoy your weekend. That's the thing. I said I would take all your questions and all your comments and answer them as I can. It's been a really busy week. So here's the thing. Wayne writes in. He says, hey, Rod, welcome to Vancouver. Parking downtown can get expensive. Traffic can be a bitch. SkyTrain is easiest. Least cost, good for your blood pressure. Next comment from Daniel in Vancouver. Rod, take your Uber. Take Uber. Much easier. So, yeah, I was trying to get to Calgary, do the show from Overtime Hockey Lanes, do the show from Theo's Golf Tournament, MC his hot stove, jump in the car, drive back to Moose Jaw, do the show today, drive back to the airport, fly to Vancouver. So the thoughts of where I'm going to be Sunday, what I'm going to do. I got a guy asking me here right now about doing a podcast interview tomorrow. I don't even know what he wants to talk about. So if you see why it drives Kevin the Medium crazy, and frankly, the people in my real close circle, when I say one day at a time, I can only deal one day at a time. I can't tell you what I'm doing Sunday, and I sure as hell don't know what I'm doing Monday. Sorry. But I do know that it'll be big fun. Jeff the Stamps fan says, the last week of summer, really, maybe for you, bro. Not when you live in Florida. My license plates say year-round summer. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying it's a great place to be. Brent in the Bridge City writes in and says, I may need to leave early, so I wanted to thank you for a wonderful week of shows, Rod. Enjoy your trip to BC. Go Riders. Thank you, Brent. You're such a nice guy. Speaking of nice guys, since we have the time here and we have time left in this show, this dude needs to stop texting me is what he needs to do. Don't blow up people's phones. This Perry Bearset, I'll say as much as I can because it was a private conversation, but I was mentioning this earlier. Won a Stanley Cup with the Flames in '89, very big name in Calgary Flames history. Came up to me as I was setting up the sound system at the golf event for the show, and he sticks his hand out. He's like, Rod Pedersen? I'm like, yeah. It's Perry Bearset, big fan. You are? I said, do you watch the show on TV? He goes, well, I watch it on streaming. Comes up on my phone all the time. Not sure how I found it, but I love it. Thank you. The Perry Bearset. And he goes, weren't you the first? And I said, the first what? He goes, the first guy to do a digital show, and now everybody's doing it. But you were the first guy, right? And I'm like, I guess. I don't ever really thought about it. But thank you. He just had all these really nice things to say. And he goes, didn't you almost like move out here to Calgary? I'm like, yeah, like 3 times. This is a conversation. First time I ever met the man. I had no idea he would even know my name, Perry Pedersen. But what I will say is, because I spent a lot of time in Calgary over the years, went to college there when he was playing for the Flames. Actually, right after he left the Flames. Everybody had nothing but great things to say about Perry Pedersen. Going back 40 plus years. I met him for the first time on Thursday, and these were the things coming out of his mouth. That was special. Rich in Edmonton writes in, he says, it's the show by and for the people. Right. Wouldn't it be great if we planned it that way? Sometimes things just go a certain way. That was not the plan, but that's what it's been. And we covered a lot of the ground. I appreciate you, Rich, in Edmonton, hanging in today. Oh, did you hear the stories about Perry being from Edmonton and playing for the Flames? My God. I mean, full disclosure, Rich from Edmonton, you probably know that. The hockey people are my people. I know how to talk to them. I know which buttons to push. I just get those guys. But I also work with the football people and the baseball people. They're great guys, too. But, Perry wasn't sure about whether or not he could come on the air. Not really keeping up with the NHL like I was when he was working in the media for a time. And I'm like, do you trust me, Perry? He's like, yeah. Okay, I got you. And then later in the day, Colin Pedersen, who you met on Wednesday's show from Overtime Hockey Lanes, he texts me and he goes, for a guy that didn't want to do the hot stove, he stole the show. I'm like, didn't he? I said that we were going to talk about tonight's games. What are you watching? Canadian Football League, if that's your thing. I don't know if it's on CBS Sports Network or not tonight. I'm not TV guide. Winnipeg Blue Bombers 5-4 at the 7-3 Edmonton Elks. I'm going to watch as much of it as I can. Kind of feel like I need to get to downtown Vancouver first. NFL tonight, there are 3. And I am not a degenerate like Scruffy. Professional sports gambler, our Monday, Tuesday co-host on the Canadian Hour, Scruffy. We've been friends for 30 plus years. I feel like I could say that. I just don't bet, period, let alone preseason NFL football, but I know a lot of people do. New York Jets at Pittsburgh tonight, Carolina at Jacksonville, Green Bay at Denver. Oh, and Major League Baseball, Blue Jays at the New York Yankees. Yes, I guess Blue Jays are for real. Talk about up and down like a toilet seat, the Blue Jays this season. And then the A's at Houston. Again, A's fans when they're winning. Blue Jays fans here when they're winning. That's what we do here. Congratulations, by the way, Mike Richards, a regular on this show, was just on last week, announcing today he's going back to Calgary airwaves. QR 770 Calgary, a Saturday morning show. Follow our social media for more on that. I'm sure a lot of the U.S. audience going, why is that such a big thing? Multiple all-sports radio stations in every market. Yet in Canada, you're lucky to have one. So that's why we talk about it so much. It's just a different thing. Rich in Edmonton says, we'll be at Commonwealth. Great way to start a weekend. Beautiful weather. Like you say, it is going to be a wonderful weekend of football and all the rest. We will be on the air Monday from Vancouver. I don't know where. Follow our social media channels for all of what we got going on through a very fun weekend at the Rod Pedersen Show, including a lot of coverage of the BC Lions and the Saskatchewan Roughriders from BC Place Stadium, 4 p.m. Pacific. BW in Edmonton, have a great weekend, Rod. You too, my guy. Thanks, producer Corey, and everybody that made this show such a success this week. All the great things you've said. Thanks for supporting our sponsors. We'll see you Monday.
That